This is a quick highlight compilation of a larger series of reviews. You can find the links in the description if you're interested. Otherwise, enjoy the best of the best. Obviously, Shadow Mage, this is our Fratley, this is the one we love. But I gotta say, in terms of design, not a good fusion for Falco. Falco is so weird, so many of the Falco fusions look nothing like the original design in any way, and it's not even like they made it look more birdy. Like, it has kind of a beaky nose, but it looks more like a rat. I guess because they mixed it with a jackal nose. And then the thing on its forehead is inspired by Horus, but when it's like the only trait on it that's remotely bird-like, except its staff also has some wings, it just doesn't really register. It looks more like a Hermes monster or something. And the ears look like Marit from Pokemon, and the back of its head is like a slug shell. It looks like a nudibranch. I love nudibranches. And it's just got none of the colours of Falco. Falco is orange. Where did the blue come from? I'm not going to complain because it's my favourite design in the whole game I've found so far. Now, Fratley's model. And yep, I got a design of his eyes completely wrong. I mean, I did guess they had like black eyeliner, but they also have yellow, and those things are not eyebrows, they're just kind of circles. It also gives more of an idea of what the bodysuit thing is, and I still don't really understand. He's got some kind of metal plate on his crotch, and aside from that, it looks like he's wearing a wetsuit. It does at least have a bit more Falco vibes, because you can see the nose is very clear. It's got two little nostrils, so it is meant to be a beak. And with the eyes, it does generally give more of a bird-like face impression. But yeah, poor decision. The one part which resembles a monster is so small a player will never see it on normal DS gameplay. And this one here is the one that we had on the main playthrough for Babaji, because this is my second favourite monster in the entire game I've seen so far, right after Fratley. I mean Shadow Mage. I really like it. I love the fat stitching effect on it. I love how it's a creative take on being a bunny doll. If anything, it's not even like fully a bunny doll. It's like a Mew but designed after the hair. Like, it's got more pointy triangular ears. It still feels like both a cat and a rabbit at the same time. I really do love that fat texture and the real stitching and the button eyes. It basically pulls off what Mew is going for so much better. Like, it looks like a really cute cuddly stuffed toy. And it's a pleasing choice of colours for the brown and the red and the pink, and they all go well together. I just love it, and it reminds me of Patamon, and that is why I cherish this pal. I think this is another one that also has been in multiple entries of the series, and it never looked this good. Yeah, like, that does nothing for me. That does absolutely nothing. That's the most basic level if we just put a texture on the thing. And it also shows how Mew's proportions and stuff are a lot more uncanny in the earlier games. Like, just look at how much of a glow up it is. You just scroll down and immediately, oh, okay, it looks like a dog somehow, but it's not a dog. It doesn't look like a cat or a rabbit anymore. It's just strange, the way its mouth goes. It's like, it really feels like the texture's been misaligned in some way. And I gotta say, the advanced version, that's okay, but like, it's nice, but it looks more like just a chibi version of a hair. It doesn't look plushy in any way. I mean, you could make a plushie of that character, but it really just looks like it's someone from Mr. Driller. And I'm glad that forever in every future game they stuck with this design. Hell yeah. But the one in the anime, they managed to draw the earlier design and make it genuinely kind of cute. Again, it just shows the proportions and the way the texture is handled. Like, they could just fully draw a unique monster here, and they didn't have to stick to all that. It makes the whole design come together a lot better. Though it does just look really similar to a regular hair, just like a baby version, so yeah. I have a new monster in the entire fucking game, I'm sorry. This is the only thing so far that could potentially compete on the level of Fratley. I fucking adore this. How the shit do I get this? How do you unlock Joker in the actual game? I need this. Like, it's just such a good design. Like, it's not just a skull. It's like a fucked up mutant, half skull, half flesh thing with amber in the eye sockets gooping out. And the back of the head being all fluff and fuzz. Like, it's definitely, like, based on an actual, like, a zombie with still parts of the hair stuck on. I love it, and the leaves have become scrunked up skeleton hands with like semi-realistic gore. Like, it's in yellow rather than blood, but like gory stuff around the part where the fingers break open and the claws come out. And also how it's just an upper skull. Like, I I love the Abomination from Final Fantasy IX. I don't know why, that's just a peak of cute and endearing to me. Everyone knows I have a thing, I just like fucked up mutant and zombie monsters. I genuinely and ironically think they're endearing. I don't get why people think they're scary. I'm just like, oh, that's a creature that is ill and needs a hug, and this is peak energy, just the scrunkly up of the hair and the flower bursting. Like, I like how the flower is so elaborate and it has the fucked up demon on it. It's like the flower is draining all of the energy from some actual human skull that was possessed and turned into this monster. Anyway, the Abomination from Final Fantasy IX also has only the top of a skull, but underneath the skull, coming out of where the mouth would be, is a bunch of tendril little legs that it crawls around on. And I have no idea how it eats. I don't know if it has like an extra mouth in between all the tentacles, but it's really cool. It's a massive fucking human-like head the size of like an entire human's body, and there's no explanation for why it exists like this, and it's great. And it's a shame that they didn't actually take the opportunity to put in the flavor text, yeah, this used to be a human that got possessed by the plant, like, the plant is the real monster, the head used to be a different species or something. It's the victim of a curse. You could still interpret it that way. It could have still been someone else that was turned into a skeleplant. I like the idea of them being able to spread like zombies. I love the idea of a zombie that's like pure white and albino-ish, and blends in so perfectly with the skeleton parts you can't even tell where the flesh is coming off. I love the goopy texture of this amber-like, it's not even like blood, they picked an amber colour. It really feels like, yeah, like the sap from a plant. It's a perfect mix of plant and ghosty skeleton spooky goo. I adore you, I want to hug you, I want you to be the next monster I raise after a lovely dragon dog. It is now our mission, if we let's play this game again, I will find out how the fuck you get Joker, and our mission is to find out how the fuck you get Joker and make exactly this thing. And then I will make it my pal and I will feed it treats. And it will have the happiest life in the universe, and not even one scary thing will ever happen to it. I love them so much, holy shit. Also, apparently it can kill dragons. I hope that's not literal, like, oh, you can only unlock Joker after you've already unlocked dragons, so it'll probably take ages and ages and ages, but fingers crossed, mate. I can't believe that a game I haven't played in 5 years had exactly my peak kind of monster design hidden in it all along. I'm gonna make this a thumbnail. The entire quest of me rating all the monsters is now there's the slow timer ticking down from the moment I finally see this. Much as it pains me, I'm gonna have to move on, because I need to finish up this video before my throat completely dies on me. Okay, Mandrake, there are now 2 good dragons. And one that should have been a dragon. I like the fucked up fangs. I like how it resembles the idea of a stitched up mouth, but it isn't. I like how we've got these scrungle bits, like the fangs themselves have been cutting up the gums around it, like it can't hold in its own power. It really gives the idea of like, oh, this is a forbidden combination, this shouldn't be right. I like how the texture of the roots is using the usual colours, like exactly what I said, like using it in reverse, going down to the darker colour to give an effect. Here it looks like roots. I like how the leaves are like really thin dragon wings, really like insectile dragon wings. I like how the mouth looks like the old design. I like it, it's wider and it looks like the friend I miss. I mean, I like the cute little mouth, but I didn't even miss that. I slightly like the anime mouth a little bit more. And I like how the flower, this is the second one in a row which has a cool eye in it. I guess ones which have a cool eye in it are the more powerful ones. So I guess the ones that we lost in Monster Rancher 1 were the most powerful of all plants, because they had 6. But yeah, I love the aesthetic. I love how it works together to make a whole collective face, which is a unique trait for the monster, because, I mean, the one we just had didn't have. It had a whole separate face. I didn't notice that. That's the only plant we've seen which had a full face on the body, not just a mouth. That's a really unique and cool trait. I love it. It does add to the impression that it's sprouting from a head rather than the head being part of the body. I love it. I love this guy. I love this guy a lot, but not quite as much as that previous design, but I love this design a lot. These two should be best friends and siblings. If this game allowed me to raise 2 monsters like Digimon World Next Order, these 2 would be the pals. I also like the creative use of the lore of how its powers work. Rather than breathing fire, its petals become boiling hot and can burn skin to the touch. That's really cool. I also like Mandrake, like quite literally a Mandrake is a plant monster, but also it's got Drake in it and it's a dragon. I like that. It's a good pun. It's not quite as good as Dragon Quest pun, where they quite literally have a Mandrake, like it's a dragon man called Mandrake. And the ones which actually look like plants have completely different names. Oh, I love you! Oh, new favourite pal! Oh my gosh, a skeleton plushie! This is what I meant, I wanted a nice Halloween plushie! I love the red eyes, I love the sunken eye socket patterns around them rather than actually being sunken eye sockets. I love how it's got like spiky horns on its head, but it's also like a funny tiara. I love how it's got a mustache for some reason, but it might also be like an attempt to mimic like stitched up teeth like a zombie, but it comes out looking like a mustache because it's got such a basic face. I love how they couldn't really make an actual skeleton, so it's just got a bodysuit with a skeleton drawn on the front, like a little snuggie. And I love it just gives energy of a grandpa with that mustache. One thing I gotta say is, again, the weird fold thing where all the ones with the ears went off, it's the only thing holding back the design. This is the most positive of all the plain round-headed Mews. I love this one. I also have no idea which one this is mixed with. What this icon is here, this kind of like grumpy statue man. This was, again, actually a returning monster from one of the previous games, which I should have known, but in my defense this time, it was completely redesigned. That just looks like a better face for Golem. I'm not sure how that could become a skeleton. Is that like a new face for the Dullahan or something, or the Joker? This is in fact the exact two monsters it is. I'm looking forward to finding out whoever you are. Eventually we're going to get to the point where there's entirely new monsters, and that's going to be so fun. I also love the flavor text saying, oh, it only looks like this because it got struck by lightning. Like an old cartoon trope. And just to clarify here, because I somehow didn't mention it, this is still ranking below Fratley in the bestie rank. I'm not quite sure if I put this above or below Eared Mew. They're both kind of on the same tier of, wow, that's a really good Mew. And that's really surprising because I normally don't like Mews. Two of them right up there in the highest ranking of all. Jack in the Cho is a funny name, but it makes you think of a jack-o'-lantern as well as a jack-in-the-box. Like, isn't the one we already had a jack-o'-lantern? So it gives you a second to figure out what the pun is actually meant to be. But I really like this. Completely changed the entire texture for anything outside to be a treasure chest. It makes me go back and go, Shalincho could have been better. Like, it could have just been a full-on regular shell texture. You didn't have to keep the vague shape of the pumpkin. If they can do this, they can do that. But I love this. I love it just a random mummy in a treasure chest. It didn't even go for making it a mimic, it's just a mummy. Okay, I gotta say, that's one thing. It is a bit clashing. They could have made it like inside an urn or some kind of treasure that you would find in a mummy's temple, rather than like a very modern, very medieval treasure chest. Or they could have just put a regular ghost inside or a mimic. But that one thing aside, the random factor of mixing these two things is really funny and entertaining. That's a really, really cute design for a tiny spherical mummy. I will forever stand the ones in Soul Eater. I love this guy. And I'm really curious what on earth this little grey golem looking guy is. I'm really suspecting it might be the Jokers, which were a Grim Reaper themed monster crossed with like a card game Joker in the previous games. I really liked them. But I want to think, like, why is that such a trope in Japanese media for Joker characters to always have a scythe? Was there a point where the Joker on cards has had a scythe? Just want to say I did do my research. I could not find an answer to this anyway. It's just very common. But yeah, it would make sense for this to be like, oh, Joker makes every other monster like some kind of spooky variation, but it's always different every time. That generally scared me when I pulled up on screen. Okay, it's not a scary one viewed straight on from the head on, but the eyes looked oddly human. Like, I mean, I don't know how it's like it's glowing eyes in a socket, but the combination of that and the shape of how the mouth goes, it looks like a stretched human smile. I like this a lot. Oh, that one and the dragon one are really cut from the same cloth of two, like, demonic monsters, and I love them. Not even like a skeleton dog, it's like a combination skeleton demon. It's like a demon mimicking the shape of a skeleton. I like the spikes coming out from the sides, like where the hair was going. Like the body slowly granulating into this dark, actual demonic back half, and like the skeletal front half. I like how it's like, is this granite, is this stone? There is actually the Grey Wolf, which is like the golem and tiger combo, which is a very boring design, but had a very prominent and sad role in the anime. So a lot of people have a soft spot for it, even though it's one of the more boring recolors. It's supposed to be like a tribute to it. It really feels like the same design, but like corrupted by an evil force, which is literally what happened in the anime. He didn't get a new design for it. I really like this. I also like how it's based on the Barghest, which is a real demonic ghost dog thing. Barghest's mission was decided the day it was born in hell, that is to completely strip its opponents of all happiness. Its eerie eyes glow dimly in the dark as it awaits its next victim. This was built to destroy. All the monsters so far, even the scariest ones, have not been like, this is irrecoverably evil in every possible way. It was built to murder humanity. I like this. This is a very fitting design for the scariest of all the scary types. I love it. But it's kind of a shame that very few Joker ones we've seen so far have had any kind of aspect of the scythe. I was going to say, if they made the horns the scythe, if they made the tail the scythe, it would be a bit much. This design is exactly enough. And I do really like a highlight of the gold horns and the gold eyes being the only yellow in the design. Really, really good. If you saw this thing approaching you in an alley, you would know it was approaching you in an alley, and you get scared, but the closer it gets, the more you get to see of it. Ooh. They brought back Undyne! Okay, giving you some points. And I like that as a redesign for Undyne, actually. Because it was just kind of like mostly a normal human woman, but a body made of water, which is really cool. Like, it was an interesting twist on the mermaid, where, like, rather than having a fish tail, she had a tail made entirely of, like, a waterfall. It's a good interpretation here. Like, we've made it less just a person. The colours are very similar, but it's more like techno exaggerated version. The very high contrast on the green of the hair and the body being like almost alien while also recognisably fishy, and how the bikini's been totally changed to be like a wetsuit, and it's got little fins on the legs. Like, again, I brought up Hermes twice in this comparison, and the tiny tail, like a demonic version of a dolphin tail, and the fins being so fleshy. It's really giving me like Police Notes, or like the same kind of like 80s mutant that Mewtwo is based on. It's a good scrungly vibe, and a really unique take on, well, yeah, here is a fish monster that's different to a mermaid. And I like the ears. Like, again, I like how we have different lengths and sizes and positions of different elf ears, but here they're also the same as the fins and the wings. It's funky, I love it. I really like it as a revival of a long-lost monster, and it makes so much sense to make it just a subspecies of pixie that's merged with a water type. Because, I mean, they did have so much overlap, and I do understand that's why the monster was removed, but I mean, it was a nice monster. I'm glad it's coming back. I'm glad it's coming back in the best possible way. I really like this. Let's go look at what it originally looked like, because I can't even remember. I think it did have the same kind of hair. It might have been bold blue or purple hair instead, but the rest of it, everything from the neck down has been totally changed, and it's all for the better. Yeah, here's the original. I was right. It's a bold blue hair. It's like a mermaid, but made of swirling water instead. And it kind of did feel like a mix of a pixie and a gel. It makes sense it couldn't really stay around as a separate category, a whole different species. I'm glad it came back. I'm glad it came back even cooler. Especially if it completely lost the aspect of having part of its body made of water. They could have still had this design and just still made the legs join together into a tail. Also, what the fuck was going on in the MMO? That doesn't look like the same thing at all. I mean, that's a cool design for a robot mermaid, but that looks more like the Fell Sea from Final Fantasy. And I'm not saying that as an insult, I love those designs, but it sure as hell is not an Undyne. The second, like, Android and iPhone app thing that, like, plugged into the Line messaging service actually brought back the original design, but it's a lot more generic and anime, and, like, a regular actual mermaid tail, but with a water texture over the top. Not as distinctive. I prefer this redesign a lot. And this is a page for the redesign, which is now listed separately because it's a pixie subspecies. Oh, it was very different in the first appearance. Gotta say, I don't like it. It's a nice joke, and the flavor text says, oh, it looks like gel because maybe they're going out. That's fun. I do like aspects of the design, like it having 2 feet which are both individually a mermaid tail. That's cool, but again, it just being all mostly the same colour and mostly featureless and accessoryless too. I mean, its original was just a blob of water, but it at least wore an outfit. I want to just add in here, because I forgot to mention, because it kind of goes without saying, but I do like how this design is a bit more androgynous. Like, this could work for a boy or a girl sexy fish person. It is always a bit strange how most monsters in the series have no stated gender, and then it's only the pixies that are all female. And only like half of the sub-breeds of pixie become female, and the others just stay either neutral or dudes. Actually, I think Golem is always portrayed as male. That's the one we found. I think it would be legit cool if someday we had a novelty question mark pixie that was just the same design but masculine. That seems like such a basic idea, it's surprising they haven't done it yet. I like this one so much more. I really, really like this one. It's so good. It's such a great mix of sci-fi and fish. And I never would have expected that. It's actually kind of fascinating how they have 2 app games and one of them has this Undyne and one of them brought back the original Undyne. That's cool. It really shows how much they care about the fans. Except they didn't really bring back the original Undyne. They brought back a redesign that was kind of a bit, like, meh. But they tried. They brought back the aspects of the original Undyne. And I can appreciate that even if I didn't like the art style of that particular game. Also, back to the flavor text, I like the idea in lore that both Undynes did exist, and Undyne wished to be a faster swimmer and transformed its body at the cost of losing its memories of not being a pixie. That's cool.
Oh, that's very fun. That's really weird that's not a plant subtype, though. Instead, it's the question mark.
It's nice. I love the idea how it's not just a dragon with plant powers. It's not just, like, a robot made of plants. We've already had a robot made of plants before. Here is an abstract concept of individual logs could somehow form together, kind of like a robot, kind of like one of those funny horse dolls for kids. I like how the body is very stiff for all these logs and the tail is actually moving like it's a real living plant right now. It gives a great aesthetic to it. I love how the fingers are individually cut boards of the wood. A lesser person would have just gone, oh, let's make some like stump roots growing from the logs. And that would have still looked great, but this looks great and creative. Like, no one would think of this, but you did, and it's great. I really like the head. It's a great interpretation of making a plain cylinder into the cutest thing ever. I love the little dotty eyes, very Mochi adjacent. What a pal. Okay, that's wild and insane. Don't let looks deceive you. This is the soul of a dead man combined with top quality eggplants. Do not profane the dead with your laughter. That's great flavor text. I think that's probably been changed in the translation because this is an actual Japanese concept. Making the eggplant horse or the cucumber horse on, I think, the festival of Obon is like, and here you make the horse that will carry the souls of the dead back to the afterlife after they've come to visit you on this day and to be happy and proud and see all the progress you've made. It's like, it's heartwarming in context, but it's one of those things that, yeah, it sounds funny if you don't have the context. I wonder how many traditions we have in English would make no sense to a Japanese person. Like, do they find it funny we eat gingerbread men? The terrifying winter rituals! A bearded home intruder breaks into your house and leaves gifts. But you must placate him with offerings of milk and cookies and carrots, lest he place fossil fuels into your socks. But yeah, there's a really good, fun, insane design for, again, logical ways you could create a mecha out of combined pieces of vegetable. The little toothpicks holding them all in place. I love the way they made the big eggplant in the front be like a pompadour, and the back is kind of like a traditional delinquent cape. It gives a whole extra sense of personality to it. And the feet being the tiny slices of a cucumber. Loads of different sizes and shapes and slices of both of these vegetables. A great combination of where exactly to switch from the eggplant to the cucumber to give highlights to the arms and the feet. I feel like I could have also maybe made like a little bit on the face, like just stuck in a tiny cucumber nose or something. But I do really like, I was like, oh, why are the eyes diamonds? But they're like inverse. When you see it turning around, you can see they're inverse. Like, it cut little notches into the eggplant, exposing the insides, and that's a really fun way of putting a face on it. And of course, I just fucking love every line of this flavor text. It's wonderful. It's a great way of spoofing how this just does seem like an insane idea to the English. And the thing is, I love the design because they've made it look like an insane design to the Japanese. Like, even if you know this is based on a very important holiday, you'd still be like, what the fuck is going on here? You've made it a better Gundam. There's been so many Gundam monsters in this game, and this is just, you can do robot in a way that makes it not feel repetitive. It fits well with that log dragon. They both have a similar vibe with the segments. I think they would be friends. But again, I do think this could have also been a plant subtype. Both of those could have been. They didn't have to be the special. Oh, I love this silly thing. What a fun reference to like the lifespan increasing bananas in the previous game. They have now become monster. It's nice interpretation. They could have just drawn a banana and animated it like a snake, but instead we have like the peel is opened up to be like a collar that some Nagas have. I like that the arms have the cut open banana just to show off the text and just the fun. I like how the hands are at the very end of the banana, and also as the tail becomes like a rattle. I like how it has the samp of a banana on it. This is how you go above and beyond in making a joke. And I love this guy. and it's both just a quirky idea and also a fun reference to the continuity of the series. I really like the design. Like I said in the Let's Play, it reminds me of the Black Mages from Final Fantasy. It's got a cool kind of appeal. I like the swirly patterns on the side of the head that look like eyes when it already has eyes inside what could possibly be a mouth, or could possibly just actually be eyes. Like, it's almost got like a bird shape to it. And I like the jester hat being its head and its ears. I like the little balls on the end of it. And I like the arms being like capes, but they're actually arms, and it actually just has an extra cape, and it overall looks really nice. Like, honestly, nothing in the design specifically says this is a clown, it's exactly like a real clown, but all the elements put together just give the vibe of a clown, while also being a genuine monster, a genuine, not human looking thing. And I think it works best when there's only one human looking monster. That is one thing, like I say, is great about Monster Ranchers. They know they're making a game where combining the monsters is the best part, so they make almost every monster have a really unique body shape, which would be instantly identifiable no matter what they're fused with. So yeah, when I first played this game and I was showing you, this was my favourite, the favourite monster in the whole thing, and now it's slightly edged out by Fratley and Eared Mew, and Flazer is the one we had for Flat Frey in our gameplay. I still think this is a really, really bad design for an Abyss fusion. So many of these fusions just only make sense as fusions with the word Abyss and not what the monster actually looks like. Like, genuinely, is this the only reason it's called Abyss and not Anubis? So they could just have a spot to dump any demon-looking designs? Because they didn't happen to include one of the monsters which actually looks like that? Born of the Future! They did! It's a late unlockable. Dragon is in the game! There is no excuse for this nonsense. Because this is 100%, it's what was actually a dragon-tiger fusion in the previous games. Specifically, only in Monster Rancher Advance. It has been in other games, and I misremembered. It's not Abyss in any of those other games. It's instead Tiger and unknown question mark subbreed. It's like the novelty slot, like the baseball boy for Suezo. And I don't know why, because the description still says it's a dragon subbreed in the mobile game. They fixed it and then they changed it back to something worse. I don't understand. It's slapped on a random new guy, which really deserved to actually have a new design to go with it. Like, Abyss is one of my favourite monsters here, and I would have loved to see what it actually looks like. But as a hell dog, a dragon dog, divorced from what it's actually fused from, it's a really good design. I love it. I love how it's not just a colour swap on the same tiger. They made the hair all slicked down, they made the structure of the face very different, the mouth wider, the eyes more set together to make it look more creepy, like a human face with the mouth being too big, like a slit mouth, like a Jeff the Killer kind of thing. I love the pattern, the red pattern on its forehead looks like almost like an upside down cross, but not really in a way that's like sacrilegious or anything, just in a way that makes you think, oh, that's definitely a demon. And the way around the face is all dark, and then the mane is all red, and it's definitely a demon. It's Baphomet, that's what it looks like. I love the colour scheme too, the dark parts, the red parts, the orange parts. It just goes really well together. It makes a great contrast, and it makes the whole thing look ragged and werewolfy and undead in a way that's just great. It looks like an enemy that come running at you in Parasite Eve crossed with a demon, and I love it. And it's a friend, it's also a dragon, and it's also a wolf, and it's also kind of a unicorn like regular tiger is anyway. And I love them, and they're scrungly, and I headcanon them as a wonderful friend and not evil in any way. And I can't wait to actually get back and play with this monster, if you guys do want me to continue playing this game.